My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave DeBow. And if you've ever been curious about turning rentals into home ownership in an economically challenged town, my guest today, Bobby Rowlett from Harlan, Kentucky, is doing just that. Today, he's going to share his journey of making a difference and breaking free from the rat race. Bobby, welcome to the show. Thrilled to have you here.
Thanks. I'm honored to be on this with my first podcast.
Awesome. Well, first and best and only ever. So yeah,
Absolutely.
like break it down for us. You know, we could go deeper, but really the main question is like, how'd you get started in this?
So Harlan, I guess, is the best place to start. Harlan is a big coal town in southeastern Kentucky. And it's no secret that coal isn't doing all that well in the next, the last few decades, pretty much. So the cost of living is low there. In return, you can really capitalize on some really good opportunities there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my hometown. So I'm actually living in Georgia at the moment, but everything that I'm doing right now, and I have a lot going on, is back in my hometown, to give other opportunities to people there that may not have those opportunities elsewhere. But also, make sure that my family is going to be taken care of for generations is my main goal.
So a little bit about your backstory. Like, what was the first step into real estate for you?
My mom passed away in 2015, and pretty much she, her house that she left or whatever. I feel like most people would at that age. I was 20 years old. Most people at that age, I feel like they would have sold. But that was my first rental. I wound up using that, and then one thing led to the other, and now we're currently sitting at 7 rentals and building a decent portfolio within subleases.
So you're leasing a property, managing it, and leasing it again. Is that the concept?
Yeah. And the main idea behind that is people in Harlan, I think the last time I checked, the median household income in Harlan is something ridiculously low. It's like $33,000 a year or something household.
Right.
So a lot of people there, they don't know about credit. They don't know about finance, and they don't know about leveraging debt or anything along those lines. So there's a lot of people that rent there until they die. And that's sad, you know what I mean? So like, since getting into this whole investing thing and trying to be an entrepreneur and stuff, I've learned that I can help out with that, and it helps me out, it helps the seller out, and it also helps the buyer out, because these people otherwise would, they've never built credit, but they're good people, they have solid jobs and stuff like that. They just never had the opportunity, and they never really had the education to get out of the rat race and do better for themselves and their families.
So what do you like most about your real estate strategy now?
Basically that I really like helping the people. I'm pretty lenient as a landlord. Like, I actually don't like that term at all. It's weird for me to even say that, but I like the concept of being able to help others and help myself at the same time. So the properties that we have at the moment don't have any mortgage on them. They're all 100% paid off, thanks to that, lovely low cost of living there.
Yeah. What's a
And
property worth out there?
anywhere. Our lowest is 27,000, and then the most expensive is like 211,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the 211,000 property is 3,700 square feet on 7 acres. I mean, that would probably be 800K
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else, I would say.
So what's the average rent in that neck of the woods?
It's skyrocketed the last little bit with the housing crisis that's going on. But that's another thing that I take pride in, is that I'm able to keep my rent down, um, due to everything being paid off. So I don't have a ton of overhead, just the
Mm.
insurance and stuff like that. So right now, most of my properties are in the 600 to 700 a month range.
Yeah. And if they're paid off, I mean that's great. You never you're your own bank at that point.
Yep.
So have there been any like major challenges you've had to overcome in your real estate journey so far?
The only thing that I've really ran into, I haven't even had major issues out of tenants,
Mm-hmm.
but mainly finding that balance between wanting to help the people and still propelling, keeping my grandpa's momentum forward. My grandpa um, grew up literal dirt poor. I don't know if you're aware of what like where that term came from, but my grandpa, the house that they were in, he said it was around 300 square feet. He would guess, dirt floor. It was coal stove, a wood stove, something along those lines. And he would tell me about sleeping under um, the kitchen table to avoid being stepped on, because there was 7 or 8 of them staying there, 7 or 8
Yeah.
siblings. So mom and dad, 10 people in this 300 square foot house, give or take. Um, so from his from his time, um, until I took over and started doing my own thing and stuff like that, we went from that to owning over $800,000 worth of real estate there. I guess that's including my own personal house, but um, it's keeping that momentum going is really something that I've been fighting hard for.
Yeah. So, Robert Kiyosaki calls it, the unfair advantage. What comes easily to you that other people might find difficult to do?
Um, Really just connections. My grandpa was a big talker, so he
Mm.
knew a ton of people. He ran a nonprofit organization that built houses for low income families, and did like a Thanksgiving giveaway, a Christmas giveaway,
Right.
shoe drive, and stuff like that. So he was like really deep into the community, which helped out with me, because I was always there with him. I grew up with him, so I had those resources as well. And then with his rentals, I also had the resources go over to my own rentals to propel me forward.
Nice.
But it's still a challenge, no matter where you get into it, pretty much, because dealing with rentals, dealing with tenants, stuff like that, learning ways to maximize profits and deal with taxes and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's an ongoing process.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So where do you want to be in the next 12 months as far as, your real estate aspirations and goals?
12 months. So I'll just tell you my plans for 2024. We
Hmm.
are renovating an old campgrounds, and we're going to turn that into um, kind of an Airbnb type deal. Um, it's going to be, I think it's right around 2,700 square feet. I'm hoping to split it up to do three, like, kind of small hotel like rooms,
Hmm.
and Airbnb those out. And then it's got access to the woods, so it's going to be a prime spot for hunters and ATV riders and such. And then I'm really wanting to get into tiny homes and Airbnb
Yeah.
those as well. Um, and then on top of all that, I'm having really good success with the subleasing, and that's my main goal right now, because I actually don't want to add anything to my personal rental portfolio as of right now, unless it is commercial. I would love to have an apartment building. Who doesn't? But that's the only thing that I want to add into it. The rest of it, I just really want to do the subleasing on, and the cash flow that comes from that without all of the responsibilities of rentals and tenants.
Yeah, definitely. So, with all you've accomplished so far in your real estate investing up to today, what would you say your biggest obstacle is now?
Uh, Really just finding the deals in this market. I know so many people I talk to, which is why the subleasing is actually working out, because I would love to buy some of these properties that we're working with, and then do a rent to own, cut out the seller entirely. But so many people bought houses, and last year 22, and this year in 23 and stuff like that, and then 7-8% interest rates. It's not viable um, to have equity in a property, and be able to get out unscathed now that everything's like on the downhill slide.
Yeah, definitely. We got to get creative. So, what are you doing right now to fund the deals? I mean, you're mostly into these, I guess they're kind of like sandwich leases, but um, at some point you're going to need to buy some more stuff when like let's say something comes along. What are you doing to finance your deals these days?
Pretty much. I'm just learning about the like hard money lenders and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But for the most part, my go to has always been just using the equity in the properties, and letting one pay for the other.
Yeah, that's the standard, I guess, the Burr method.
Yeah.
Refinancing, taking the capital, rolling into the next one. So,
Yep.
um, as far as let's say that the bank gets to a position where they're like, you're out of mortgages. Have they started telling you that you're out of titles yet?
Nothing along those lines. There's it's been weird because I just recently started an LLC, so I'm trying to build that business credit up
Mm.
and everything. But surprisingly, even though my personal credit score is favorable, it's not really translating over into the business credit all that much. I
No, it
guess
doesn't.
just
Yeah.
so I guess just because it's a new company, pretty
Well,
much.
it's technically like a new person.
Right.
That's the thing with the
So
LLC. It's like a new entity, so you got to season that.
yep. And then the current properties that I have, I wasn't speaking with anybody. I wasn't speaking with a tax. I didn't have like a dedicated tax guy at that time. So all the properties at the moment are just solely in my name.
Hmm.
And I don't like that. It's definitely not the way to go. So we're going through getting a trust, business trust and personal trust and all that other stuff to hold the assets and stuff. And that's been its own little hurdle there, as well as trying to do everything else that we're doing, because I still have a day job. I have a detailing business. We're pretty heavy into vending machines right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then I also took over that nonprofit that I was telling you about earlier. So managing all that is a pretty big headache, but it'll be
Yeah, I'm
worth it in
sure
the end.
the vending machines likely do well in a small town. You can go and get your dollars and your quarters out, right? So,
Yeah.
um, have you ever raised capital for any of your deals? You ever needed outside capital or JV partners to put any of these deals that you've put together so far?
Nothing yet. I'd spoke with a couple of people, because I like around February, March time, when everything like really started hitting, and the
Hmm.
income was coming in. I was just in invest mode, and I just really wanted to blow this thing out of the park. So I had spoke with a couple of friends who I knew did well, and see if they wanted to get in on a couple of things. But as far as like reaching out to personal investors and doing stuff like that, there's really not need for it in Harlan. Like I said, the low cost of living and the cheap land and cheap property there and stuff. I mean, there would be, if we decide to do like a mobile home park or something later on down the line or so, that would probably require some outside help. But as of right now, no.
Yeah, buying some tiny homes. Whenever that thing like kind of expands out, you're gonna have to like look at maybe how to finance that. So, um, as far as like your networking goes within your community there, what do you found most effective to keep in touch with the people that you're doing business with?
Um, 100% transparency. I know there's a lot of people that don't like to talk about money with partners or other people that they're making deals with, or even their employees and stuff. But I found that being fair and being completely upfront with everybody, it just takes pretty much all the guesswork out of it, and there's nothing that can blow back on you.
Yeah, if you're transparent, then there's nothing more to say. So let me ask you, are you find the deal and then the money person, or do you prefer to have your capital lined up and then go looking for the next deal?
Um, Pretty much find the deal, and then just make it happen. That's pretty much been my go-to, and it seemed to
hmm
work out pretty good so far.
Like a deal first kind of thing. So you bring it to the bank and
Yeah,
say, "Hey,
yeah.
I want to put some financing on this." So, um, have you ever had to do? You'd mentioned earlier that you were presenting or having conversations about getting some people to invest and things like that. Have you had to do any sort of presentations or anything like that so far about your
Nothing
business
really.
model?
I would just kind of draw up the numbers, have something there to where I can show them, because I can sit here and talk face to face to somebody, but actually having something that they can sleep on and then come back and look to later on. um, Pretty much that's all that I've done, and it never worked out with the people that I was talking about investing with. But for the most part, just having everything right there in front of them and not having them wait on things
Mm,
um, was another one. Because the thing that I found is if somebody presented, like let's say that you presented me a deal or whatever,
hmm
I'm more likely to do some quick numbers in my head and be like, okay, wow, this is a great deal or whatever. And then I'll accept it, within the hour or so. But the thing that I've learned for me is, I'll think about it and I'll stress about it and everything. And then I'll go to sleep. And when I wake up the next morning, that's whenever I'll be able to make a more clear
mm.
decision.
Do you like to sleep on it when it comes to your business? So have you ever thought about um, buying outside of your market, expanding into other areas? Are you dedicated to your hometown there?
Just because we have all the resources, there in Harlan lined up, like I have an HVAC guy that I can call anytime. I have a general contractor, stuff like that. That makes it extremely easy for me. So I haven't really looked at going outside of Harlan. Pretty much, we will be coming into a few things here in Chatsworth, eventually down here in Georgia, and then at that point, we'll see how it goes. It's pretty well a pretty well market down here, so everything will probably flow a little better down here than it does in Harlan. But Harlan is my comfort zone. So
Yeah.
and I love my hometown. I honestly wish that I never left, but I had to because of work. My day job is on the railroad, so being in a town where the only thing coming in and out of the town is coal. And again, we talked about coal. I had to chase work into Louisville, Kentucky for a while, and then we came down to Georgia. Um, so Harlan is my comfort zone. I would love to get back there one day. Hopefully, all this pans out and it does well, and I can actually retire in Harlan at a decent age. But yeah, I like to keep everything in Harlan just because that's always my end goal is to get back there.
Yeah. So do you find it difficult to balance that sort of job and being a real estate investor?
Not not too much, honestly. I have pretty good relationships with all the tenants and stuff, so they come to me when they have an issue, and we find out the best way to resolve it. And that's pretty much it. And I feel like that's a strong skill that I have is networking and knowing who to call to get things done.
Mm.
And that's really helped out with doing everything remotely because the vending machines, everything except for the detailing is in Harlan. The detailing is here in Chatsworth.
Nice. So, um, what advice would you have to someone who's, just getting started in the real estate business?
Stack up on education when it comes to stuff like this because I graduated high school in 2013, and a
Mm-hmm.
large majority of what I learned all through grade school, all through high school, has not applied to me at all.
Yeah.
Everything that I've learned since I've got into investing and the stock market, real estate, stuff along those lines, everything that I've learned there is stuff that like I can pass on to my kids that I didn't have growing up because my grandpa, even though he was an investor himself, he was an old school guy. He never had insurance. He never financed anything. He paid cash for everything, and that creates its own issues. My kids, they won't have to worry about any of that. They'll grow up, and when they're ready, I'll be able to pass that on to them. So, even if a person that's listening to this podcast, even if they're not able to go out and buy that first rental property, or they're not able to buy stocks or anything along those lines, we're in an age now where there's so much information that's stacked into YouTube and podcasts like Dave's
Mm-hmm.
and stuff that if you do nothing else, if you can learn how like if you can learn how to invest and learn how to like you were talking about raise capital, if you can learn how to um, get the retirement account set up and do those things with your taxes and stuff like that, it will change everything for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes it's the education that you didn't get is the one you actually needed. So if people want to reach out to you, they want to connect with you, maybe they want to invest with you, or find out more about your strategy, how do they reach you? What should they do?
You can get me on Instagram. It's my last name, Rowlett, the number
Mm-hmm.
5, and then point spelled out, so POINT, and the number 9. Or
Great.
you can send me an email to my business email at any time. I'll try to help anybody that wants to listen. I'm still pretty new in this myself, but my email is my last name, Rowlett,
Mm-hmm.
companies@outlook.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time and you being on the show here. And, there's just, it goes to show there's opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Bobby. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
See ya.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.